Hi there, and a warm welcome to the Road to Success with the TheLadyMayowa podcast. Today on the podcast, we get into the stories, struggles, and successes of Bosun Fatoki, a man who went from banking into the streets of Lagos, selling phones in the popular computer village, and then finding his way into real estate here in the UAE to becoming the first Nigerian to own a real estate company in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Bosun's story is inspiring, and he walks us through his journey and how he's come to be the person that we celebrate today. So Bosun is the first Nigerian to start a real estate company in Abu Dhabi. For those who don't know, Abu Dhabi is the capital of the United Arab Emirates. And Abu Dhabi is like where the big boys play, right?
Maybe.
Well, you would know, you're in real estate, right?
Yeah, I mean, Abu Dhabi being the capital and regarded as like, they used to say it's the richest part of the UAE. Yeah, it's like the zone for the big boys.
Okay, so let's track back to before the UAE. Tell me, what was the interest to leave home and come to the UAE? Was it from Nigeria straight to UAE, or Nigeria, Canada, US, UK?
It was Nigeria to UAE. I used to be a banker in the start, but I've always been a salesperson all my life. The journey from Nigeria, from bank down to computer village.
What were you doing in computer village?
Okay, so life happened. Banks, they let a lot of people go.
Yeah, I remember that year.
You know, the time of them, these people, Cecilia Hebrew. Yeah. So they let a lot of people go. And okay, we got into another company. It wasn't really forthcoming. So I'm like, okay, I have this friend that I used to go with him. Instead of staying in the house, I go with him to computer village. Okay, I like to sell as well. So I started there, collecting from here, selling to this person, getting gadgets from this one, gradually like that. I never knew that, if I look back today, I always said that I never knew God was preparing me for a bigger task in front, because I could walk inside computer village like, let's say you're living in Ikeja, 2 more way in a day.
What?
Walking around, getting this, giving it to that. So that's why it's so easier for me now to go anywhere in the UAE and get things done. So, the lot of challenges we faced then kind of prepare us for now, because, you know, starting a company in the UAE.
Oh yeah.
So I moved from, I left my job in Nigeria, relocated here for love.
But before we even get to the UAE, tell me about how you survived mentally that shift from working in the bank. And you know, then if you're in the bank, you're like, yeah, the people that maybe their mothers are praying for their daughters to find you kind of person, and then ending up in computer village, walking.
Funny enough, if you have bills to pay and you have no one responsible for you, you have to make do with. They say when the preferable is not available,
what is available
becomes preferable. So you're waking up and you say that you don't have a penny on you. And you have people telling you, okay, come to this place now. Even if it's one phone you're able to sell for one person, being an intermediary, this one. You can go on with 200, 500 naira, 1,000 naira in a day. And they're like, okay, let's get that going, pending when we get something on the professional line again.
How much were you making in the bank?
I started right from NYSC, so we were like the junior bankers. Then I was on about 110.
So going from 110 to struggling for 1,000 a day, did you get depressed at any point?
It's mentally draining. It was mentally draining then. Having to deal with different kind of people you were not used to. You know how computer village, not disrespect to anyone here. Having to
before they come for you,
to learn the life on the streets. Even though you try to blend, but it's still on you. Like this one is not part of us. So you just had to do what he has to do. So it was mentally draining. At some point, I couldn't even tell anyone. A lot of people what I was doing. A lot of people still call you to tell you, oh, they need assistance from the bank. a lot of clients, customers that you have taken their contacts, and they will call you, oh, Oga Bank, can you do something for us? And but you are so ashamed to even say that, oh, I've left there, this is why. But at some point, you have to own up to what you have gotten into. Like, okay, guys, I'm no longer here now, but you still have to package it for them that, oh, okay, so now I have a shop here now in Computer Village. I had to go into my own thing, bank this.
Entrepreneurship packaging.
So, I mean, at the end of the day today, I look back at it, I'm like, this was what prepared us for now.
How did you mentally not stay there? There are people who you find them and then many years down the line, they're still in that space. And hey, no shame for any honest work, right? But how did you get yourself out of that place? How did you ensure that you didn't stay there?
The thing is, no matter the environment you find yourself, if you are goal-oriented, if you have a dream, and you know that this is not what you see yourself becoming, I mean, a lot of things will happen sometimes. You're like, no, this place is not for me. I'm just here to survive. So while we were doing that, I wasn't mentally fixed on, say, okay, this is it now. I was still out there trying to and shout out to my parents. My dad was still talking to his friends and asking them, oh, my son is looking for a job. So while I was in Computer Village, there were days that I had interviews. There were days I still had to go to drop CVs, apply for jobs. So I think I was in Computer Village for 2.5 years. And the third year, so I got something from my uncle to work with a real estate magazine producing company as a sales officer. So I had to let me take this up to get back into the professional line while the business is still secondary. So while I'm working with the company, I still get calls, we need this, we need that. So I pull in a brother of mine, like a little cousin of mine, I pulled him in. So he was going there and, okay, Dio, they need something, go get this one, go to do this one. And I left because of that in mind that, no, this place is not the ultimate for me. That's it. So mentally, I wasn't 100% there.
How did you now find your way to the UAE? So I see where your journey with real estate started, but how did that become a UAE thing?
Okay, so when I got to the UAE, I first came on a visit. And the moment I arrived, it was my first time out of Nigeria. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
There's life somewhere else. So when I got here, I'm like, okay, this is the place for me. I mean, when you speak to yourself right from touching down, I'm like, no, this is a different place and this is the place for me. So when I came in for 2 weeks, I went back. And me going back was with the idea of relocation.
What year was this?
This was 2015. So I went back, relocated, came here, and I mean, just like every other person, I started looking for a job. You had a 3-month visa, and there was no going back because coming here, after 3 months.
Did you sell everything?
Hey, you know the story now. You know how it works. Coming here, you had to take from here, take from this, do this, and got here. I mean, I had to now strategically find a way of looking for a job. When everyone was going to the office in the morning, I dress up as well with my suits, carry my CV. And, right now, a lot of people that came after us that were looking for a job, they had a lot of people to mentor them into, okay, this is what you should do. We have to design our own style. So I dress up in the morning. A lot of people I meet in the elevator, in the lobby, they feel, oh, you're going to work, have a nice day. I'm not going to work, I'm looking for a job. So, I mean, and there was no one I couldn't speak to. The moment you see me, I was entering offices, so I felt like, and this thing in Abu Dhabi, most commercial buildings, they always have the list of the companies in the building on their reception. So every building I go to, I see real estate. Then I'm like, okay, this country is a beautiful country. A lot of people are moving in here. The place I was staying, like 80% of the people living there were expats. Like, okay, a lot of people were coming in and going out. I'm a salesperson. I have a basic experience of real estate. There are lots of real estate companies here. Okay, what is something I can get into? I have the basic knowledge of sales. What can I get into that I know that, okay, I can learn and I know that there's going to be a future and job security. Because when I came, I was in the midst of professionals, so I saw a lot of people lose their jobs. I saw a lot of people come in, and so I know that, it's a cycle. You are employed today, tomorrow something
Anything
happens,
can happen.
and you're out. And I know that then your visa is tied around your
And so you have a
job.
few days.
And you're like, you see this Nigeria, I just came home. I'm not
I'm not going back.
I'm not ready to. So I felt like, okay, real estate was the thing to try. So I started, within those 3 months, I was going to offices unscheduled. When I get to reception, I'm like, can I see the HR? Oh, do you have an appointment? Oh, no, but I just want to see the HR. So the job I got in Dubai, I got in Business Bay, it was a real estate company. At the same time I got the job, I got an offer from an insurance company. They call it Nexus, it's a multinational then. So everything was kind of set with Nexus. Good pay to start with, good training, they're going to accommodate you for some time. But I felt like, no, something wasn't right. This thing is too good and too sweet to be. Because they were offering you, I'm new in the country. How can you offer me this amount of money, all this luxury? So I went back, I could remember vividly, I went back home. The next day, they skipped 2 stages of interview for me. So the next one, they were like, you know what, you're meeting with the directors, you're going to have a presentation. I already submitted my documents. So I'm like, this thing is fast and it's too good to be. Apparently, the person that was about to employ me was building a team. I still remember his name, Mark Nicholas. He was a great guy. So I went back home. I said something was not right. So I was supposed to meet with the board of directors the next day, do a presentation. Everything was ready. So in the middle of the night, I went on my knees. I started praying. And there's one very difficult prayer that I used to pray, that God, if it is not for me, take it away. No matter how good it is, just take it. So I was praying. I had that offer, and I had this real estate company that were offering me just commission, no salary. So I was praying, and after I finished praying, I went to sleep. I was told that I'll get a call by 8:30 in the morning to start heading to Dubai for my presentation before I now go back to Abu Dhabi, settle in an hotel that I'm going to be for 3 months, and the luxurious life starts.
We'll start.
So 8 o'clock came, there was no call. 9 o'clock, there was no call. 11,
still no call.
Still no call, but I wasn't panicking because I already prayed that I don't want to push it. If it is for me, if they call me, then I know that, okay, this is God's plan. So around 12, Mark Nicholas just picked the phone. Bosun, I'm so sorry. What happened is that we got a message from the legal department that some nationalities are on hold for now.
And you're Nigerian.
I have been fighting since morning to make sure that they allow me to take you. You're a great guy, you're this, you're that. I'm sorry, your nationality. I just smiled. In my mind, I said, thank you, Jesus. Like, it's okay. But he was like, Bosun, are you upset? I'm saying, no, thank you for letting me know. So we still keep in touch for a long time after then. I wasn't sad, I wasn't mad. I just said, you know what, this is how God wants it.
So you went to start the commission
based. If I had gone to that insurance, there wouldn't be Cresttrain today.
Wow.
So I went to the company, and mind you then, I lived in Abu Dhabi. The company is here in Business Bay.
So you had to commute every day. License. How did you even manage that? Because I know the bus has like timing.
You have no idea. And to resume at 9:30, I leave Abu Dhabi around 6:30, 7, get to the bus station, hop on the bus, get to the train station here, take a bus. At first, I didn't know that I could take a bus, the same bus card for the metro. I could use it for the bus. So when I get down from Business Bay, I'm trekking.
My word.
So it was one day, one of the guys now told me that, oh, we should rush, that the bus is coming at this time. And I said, I don't have a bus card. That way can I get? Now I said, how did you get here? I said, I have a bus card from Abu Dhabi. here.
But not
I said,
Abu Dhabi to Dubai.
I said, well, you have a metro card. I said, it's the same for bus. So I have been trekking, and I mean, it's like 25 minutes walk.
I guess this was the computer village trekking that was still in your body.
And I just plugged in my earphones, and I'm just like, it cannot be worse than where I'm coming from.
How long did you stay at this job before Crest Range was born?
Okay, I stayed in Dubai for 1 year. It was horrible. I mean, the commuting. So I left the company because I felt, okay, you know what? I have the basic experience of the country now and the real estate. Okay, let me now go back to Abu Dhabi and look for a real estate company there. So I left Dubai in 2019, December. Then I went to Abu Dhabi, joined the company in Abu Dhabi, and they gave me 1,500 salary.
8,500.
1,500 salary. And also I have to pay for my bus, I have to pay for my visa, I have to pay my phone bills, and you have a target. So if you don't meet your target consecutively for 2 months, you get half salary.
Oh my God.
So in the third month, if you don't meet your targets, you don't get salary at all. You now get an advance of 1,000 that will be deducted from your next month. But I mean, the reason why I took it was, you know what, I'm coming from commission. No problem. This 1,005, let it be that I can buy bus card, put a few things in the house, and do you understand? So I took it because, you know, when you know where you are going to, you see that 1,005, I converted this to Naira in my head. I said, Bosun, did you make this amount where you are coming from? So this one should be able to let you settle down here. So I took it. I was the only one without a car out of all the agents. So I used to time myself. If I have a viewing at 12 in the afternoon, I check the bus timing and the bus routes. I get there like 1 hour before, so I'm not sweating before a client sees me. With my tie and everything.
You literally read my mind, because I was going to ask you that to sell real estate, you have to look a certain way.
Of course.
How are you managing 8,500? And it's not even 8,500 because you're paying bills, you're paying this and that. You don't have a car and you have to look the part.
Nah, not at all.
Where did you used to buy clothes?
So I had this, my friend, my best friend. His name is Sheon. He was still back in Nigeria then. He's in Canada now. I used to send him money.
To buy clothes and send to you?
He goes to Mandalas.
My God. Wait, you're telling me that you lived in Abu Dhabi, but you were shopping for clothes?
How much are you earning that you want to go to?
My God.
There are some points when you make some commission, you go to some shops, pick up some few things.
Those Isaliapoti type of...
Do you get? So you kind of pick up some few things. But you know, sometimes it's not about what you wear, it's about the person wearing it. So you package yourself. You're coming from Nigeria now. The orientation is already there. That's okay. And as a salesperson, I know that you will be addressed the way you dressed. If you want to deal with people in real estate, people are talking about a lot of money. People need to know that this guy looks like someone.
You look like you can handle that kind of money.
So package yourself, and I make sure that, okay, if this place is fun, I know, there are some places that the bus wouldn't take you to the exact place you're going.
You
have to still walk. So you time everything and you make sure that you walk there. You are there
easily,
like 40
gently,
minutes.
so you can
clean up, sit down with the securities in their small cubicle to get some AC. If the apartment has AC, you go in, turn it on, wait for the client. So, sometimes they're like, okay, do you what? So sometimes you stylishly tell them that, my colleague took my car quickly, so can I join you to leave this place? You know?
My God.
You know, I could still remember there was one experience. My colleague took me for a viewing, dropped me there, and when I finished the viewing with the family, I couldn't join them in their car. So I had to wait. So I called my colleague. He said, Bosun, I can't be there until like after 2-3 hours. I have work. I'm like, and I don't have money for taxi. So I sat down there, became friends with the security guys. 3 hours, waited, but something inside of me keeps saying that this is your training. Don't worry. Just keep doing it.
What changed?
So I think the fact that I was able to persevere and not look at the difficulties of not making so much money, and knowing that, you know what, I'm a salesperson. I just want to get there. So I started building client base, started knowing the city, started meeting people. People started giving recommendations. I mean, and I saw that, okay, gradually I'm starting to meet targets. Salary got increased. I got to the office one day, met an envelope on my table, and I saw that, oh, do not disclose this to anybody. 1,000 has been added to your salary. Like, okay, so things started changing gradually, and I got a hold of the city. I know where to find what. I started getting contacts, and so things started changing gradually there and there. So I was with the company, and then I wasn't ready to move. I just want to keep learning, and got so good. I had an amazing boss then. He helped me a lot, and he was always tutoring me. So I was growing in the market. Coupled with the fact that I'm a salesperson from inside. I learned a lot. And while I was in Dubai, I missed this. While I was in Dubai doing this, my hustle and boss, I was doing my certification sales and management course in Dubai. When I made my first commission, I think it was around 1,250. I had to go and register, started paying instrumentally. So getting this certificates gave me more knowledge about sales and real estate. So things started changing gradually. Then at some point, I felt like, okay, it was time to move from that company, because I felt like I was now making more money for the company than I was getting. So it got to a point, I did a deal for the company, a sales deal, good deal. Got money from the seller, got money from the buyer. I mean, as a Niger boy now, I don't want anybody to hide anything for me. So I told the two parties to pay in cash.
Oh dear.
So they paid in cash. My boss was there. I just said, boss, okay, they've already paid. We got to the office. He said I should give it to the admin. I said, no, I'll wait for you. Because I know how much I had on me, and I don't want anybody to
tell me stories.
So when they came and they now said, you know what, based on your contracts, you're only getting 15% of this amount of money plus your salary. So I look at the figure.
How much you were handling?
How much I was handling, and this is what I was getting. I went back to meet him, that boss, I worked so hard for this deal. This is this. Look at what the money was a lot. It was around, I think then it was around 40 grand. And I was getting like 6,000
dirhams
out of it. I spoke to him, I said, listen, I know I have a contract. However, you know that this whole thing, I've put in a whole lot. And you know people now, when it comes to money, the contract is the contract. So I'm like,
So this is how it's going.
Okay, so this is how it's going. I still kept my head down, was working, doing deals. At the end of the day, you're making a lot of money for the company. You're getting what you signed for. But at the same time, like, you know what, this is it. So I started looking out. So I had a colleague then. She joined Remax. Remax happens to be the biggest real estate franchise in the world. So they opened Abu Dhabi office. So she moved there. So they were looking for people. She recommended me. I went for the interview. The Dubai team said, no, we want you in Dubai. I said, no way.
I'm staying in Abu Dhabi.
So, I mean, you can see that now from Dubai, Business Bay, I moved now to the biggest, what's it called?
Yeah.
So I got the offer. I stayed there not knowing that the company was already having issues when they employed us. Big company, I negotiated well. I mean, it was a big company, so the package was very good. That was like my highest earning package in real estate then. So we worked there for four months. I started seeing that payments are being delayed. At the end of the month, you get your next pay like 20th of the following month. So things were already going wrong. But I mean, we didn't know when we came in. We were brought in to save the company. So then COVID happened in 2020.
And that just messed the whole thing up.
And they
perfect excuse to just
close shop. I wasn't even leaving. No. What happened was that they just called a Zoom meeting that the company was shutting down. So I lost the job on Zoom.
Wow. Who was the first person you called?
The first person I told was, I think it was Victor. Yes. I think that was the first person. My friend is in Abu Dhabi now. Was the first person I told. Then I told my friend, she'll That's my best
The
friend.
guy who, your personal shopper in Nigeria.
But then he's already in Canada now, so I told him, and the moment it happened, I just said, yes, this is it.
So what was running through your mind?
Now, the moment I said, no, I'm not joining any other company again.
Oh, wow.
No, this is it. Because when I left at my previous company to join Remax, I joined Remax because they had the brand, and I already knew the market. But I still did like, you know what? Let me use this platform to also still get into the big guns in the market now. At this point,
were you already having ambitions to have your own company?
Yes. Because
what did you see?
When I got to Remax had, there are different communities in Abu Dhabi. So they were like the community management for like 2 islands. So they had the properties. So all we just do is we sit down in the office as agents, people working on like going to look for people working. But they noticed that in a month, I'm doing 10, 12 deals in a month.
How were you doing that?
Because I've already built myself in the market. So I was getting a lot of referrals. So they noticed that out of all the agents, I was the only one closing deals that are not their properties. I was closing deals that like direct landlords that I've built relationship with. People were calling to give me properties. People were calling to give me clients. So 10 deals out of 10, 9 or 8 are direct ones that I know directly, not the property of the of my employers. So I know that, okay, that means I've gotten to a point that, okay, I can actually do regardless of the platform that I have with Remax. It's like, okay, I can do this. I think I've built myself to a point, although I'm still learning till tomorrow. I'm not.
We're always learning.
So that was like the eye opener that I needed. That okay, this I could do it.
Fast forward to actually starting this company, and you know, you can run a business and you can start a company. Those are two different things. Right. So how did you start as a business, just your name and your phone?
Yes.
Or did you how did you do it?
Okay, so I started as a business with the aim of becoming a company. So what I did was that the company has closed down now. I have everything that I need to know. So I kind of know that in real estate, I have properties now. I have to start putting it out there for people to see. But I don't have a company name. I don't have an office. How do I go about it? So I started speaking to people. So someone introduced me to a Pakistani guy that has a company. So I said, come, let's strike a deal. You have the platform to advertise. I'll be giving you so amounts.
You give me this card.
Every month. You give me this quota of your space so I can put my properties. I don't have to put my pictures. Don't worry. Don't let people know that. Because if I put my picture, then it now appears that I'm working for your company. So just put my number there. You can put your name, no problem. So I started with that. Then I take the contracts or deals to the client's office so that they don't have to come
to you.
So if I show you property and you are ready to go with the deal, I just say, you know what, sit in your office. I do service delivery. I do service delivery. So I was using the guy's letterhead. I was using his invoice, but I was giving him a percentage, and I was getting my percentage. So any deal I close it, but I use his invoice. His own
I use his structure
and everything. So at that point, I was using this. I mentioned Victor, right? I was using his house because when he goes to work, his house becomes my own mini office.
Space.
So I was doing that. So every deal I was closing, if I close 2,000, I can keep 500 or keep 1,000. So I started Googling for consultants that does company registration. So got so good. I met one. I saw one online. I went to visit a couple of offices to discuss with them. So it was one that actually agreed to help me, because I said, listen, I don't have the entire money to set up, but I can be bringing it in bits and pieces. So they said, oh, okay, and then they also just opened an Abu Dhabi branch. So they were actually also looking for clients. And that's one of the reasons why till today, I'm still with them. For anything that has to do with my paper renewals, anything that has to do with PR work for my company, they still manage it. So I went to them like, okay, they gave me the entire amount. I'm like, okay, today I transfer 3,000 to you.
Is that even possible today? Nah, do you think that anyone can get that kind of package today?
But I feel people can still get it through grace. Honestly, because I feel like it was grace. because I don't think it's something that any company can just agree to. And because I think that it was just meant to be, because a lot of things happened along the line while I was setting up Crestring that made me understand that it was actually God's plan for me. Because if I could remember, while we were doing the license registration, so there was this part that you have to provide tenancy contract. We call it Tautik, we call it Ijari in Dubai. I was supposed to provide it.
How did you do that one?
No, because I wanted to go and rent a space, a business center that they can give me Ijari, so I can use it to register the license. But the prices they were calling
ridiculous.
Was high. So, and I've already built my network in the markets now. So I spoke with my friend in the bank, the fab, and I like, listen, I need an office for myself. So these guys were like, Bosun, it's you, this one, and they gave me a package that I couldn't even say how to turn on. So they're like, okay, we're going to get you a place. So I just got the Ijari for my own office instead of having to buy off someone.
And that's how you ended up with your own.
And that's how I ended up with my own. Then along the line, while I was submitting the documents for the fab to process the contract for me to be able to register with the municipality, there was a time that for like a whole week, the government system was down. And I had a timeline to do this thing. So there was a day that we were there from morning. Around 2, they said everybody should start going there. It's something they could do. I was working out and they called me back. They just called my company name back. I got a text message. I went to show them. They said, how come? How did it happen for you? Meanwhile, people that have had companies that came to renew, it wasn't working.
You that's a new...
Me that was new was the only one that worked. So I'm like, you know what? This is beyond me.
How old is the company now?
Its company is going to be 3 years in November.
For a company that you started around COVID.
Yes.
What do you think people miss? A lot of people would have been in your shoes. And a lot of people are grace.
Right, true.
Because some people would like to act like God is partial, right? God he only blesses. I feel like everybody is blessed.
Of course.
But we also have a role to play. What do you think people miss? I feel like a lot of people would have been in your shoes and not be sitting here today.
Perseverance. I think a lot of people do accept defeat so quickly. Before you hear me say no to something, and it still works for me, and that's what I always tell my team. Before you agree that no, know that you have exhausted the last option. Know that you've gone far and beyond. So I think people, because sometimes I feel that it's not the resources. I didn't have the resources. I never had the resources.
You didn't even have the money.
I didn't have the money. I didn't have anybody to sponsor me. At some point, I got people that wanted to invest, but I wasn't ready to be responsible to anyone. Because you know when business is not good and people see you wearing fine clothes, they think that
he's chopping the money.
There's no money, but he's dressing nice. So I don't want to be going like walking on the road and hiding myself because my investor might be passing.
Yeah.
So I think what people do miss is that the ability to persevere, the mentality of not giving up. I think that's because there's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's no willingness, there's an excuse.
Talking about will, the last 3 years have also been quite interesting for Nigerians. You know, the same thing when you came, you didn't get the job because issue with Nigeria. Same thing, it's been off and on in the last 3 years.
Right.
How have you navigated? Like, what are the strategies that you've helped to stay afloat? A lot of companies are shut down, right? Here you're a Nigerian running a real estate company when Nigeria is like cut off, right? How have you stayed afloat?
My dear, it's been a huge journey. Trust me, it's for non-Nigerians as well, it's difficult. It's a huge task.
So it's not exclusive to Nigerians.
It's not exclusive to Nigerians. However, that kind of played a major role because we already stereotyped. Quote and unquote. Don't let we can't do, no matter how much you want to funkify it, it's already there. But I mean, we have I've been experienced enough in the markets, built a whole lot of relationship with people, and making the business stand till date, especially from then till now, it's just I'll still talk about grace, because I feel that grace is like the baseline. Trust me, no matter what it is, my technical know-how, my intelligence is nothing.
Right, but still, what strategy? I'm sure you must have at least sat yourself down.
Yeah, I sat down. I had one of the things I had is an amazing team, and I'm someone that said, okay, you know what? There's no boss in this company. There's only a leader. So guys,
I'm a Nigerian.
Let us always sit down. Now, what I did was I started speaking with company owners that have been in the game for years. Started going for coffees, started getting the advice, calling them on the phone. These are the things I'm doing. What can I do to be better? How can I change things? So my eyes started opening to a lot of things that I wasn't doing the right way. And trust me, my team, especially, you see this HR lady that you see here, and one other guy, when they sit, especially when they tell you, and I'm always open to correction. No matter what it is, if I bring a strategy and like, no, it's not going to work this way, it's not going to work this way, okay, let's try the other way. So I started speaking to people, and I saw that a lot of companies that have been in existence before ours were doing something differently that I was doing in a friendly way. I was, at some point, I was kind of mixing friendship
with
business because of not wanting to
I'm a nice guy.
People. I'm a nice guy.
So how did you do that?
So I had to, like, you know what? At some point, we're having issues with the revenue, and I was having to like bail out in a whole lot of ways. But when you are going through that, you come out strict. So I spoke to a lot of people, a lot of company owners that have been there in the game. They kind of helped me to know that, okay, I wasn't doing things wrong, but they kind of mentored me. And even my other friends that also own companies, I kind of brought their ideas. You know, I'll go and have coffee with them. I'm jotting. That's one thing I like to do a lot. So when you're telling me something, so I don't forget, I'm writing it down. A lot of times I'm typing on my phone and I'm sending out. So I do it a whole lot of times, and I was able to now bring up all this together and like, okay, if we bring this plan into play, what do we think we can get? How can we do it in this way? And it has been helping. Although we are still learning.
Everybody's still learning.
But the fact that we open to other people's ideas on how they have been doing it. And these are people that have been in the game for so long. And one thing that really helped me was that every company that I've worked with, I always I live there with a good relationship. So it's always easier for me to go back. And ask for advices from my seniors.
So you sit here, and I remember the first platform of mine that you sat on, which was Road to Success, June 2022. And you know, you sat there, you introduced as the first Nigerian to own a real estate company in Abu Dhabi. I'm sure a lot of people will hear that and be like, oh my God. You know, like one of our guests, Yvonne, we're talking about packaging. Packaging small things and how people need to value what they have even when it's small. Talk to me about success. A lot of people see that just saying that you're the first Nigerian to XYZ, to some people is already success. But you tell me about the first moment where you felt like, I'm actually successful.
Well,
an event, a meeting, something that made you feel like,
okay,
yeah.
I think that feeling first came when Crestrange had the first year anniversary. And we had a celebration, and a lot of people came in, and they were saying a whole lot of things about me and the company. And I'm like, okay.
Is that me?
I think we are beginning to do things here and getting to, I mean, the way people now see you. However, I don't see that as being successful. I feel like the impacts I make on people around me that has built Crestrange with me, and how I see them today is what I call my success. Because when Crestrange started, I was very scared to travel because I don't know what will happen to the company.
So you have to watch.
Oh, and now I can see that, you know, the guys around me, I can go to sleep with my two eyes closed and know that the company is in safe hands. So sometimes when I see all of them handling things and I know where they all came from, when we all started and where they are today, that is what I call success. The fact that I can see them that, okay, when I told you you can do this, and now they are also now mentoring people. So I see that as, okay, we are building something. It's not about me. If you're being successful and you call yourself successful and the people around you are not growing, then what do you define as success? So I believe human capital development, I mean, it's something that you cannot comprehend as a level of success. So that's how I see success.
And speaking of the people around you, we were just talking about John, who you met for the first time, hired at that very road to success.
Right.
Tell me about, because when I sit here and think about it, I feel like for me, that is already a success. That's something that I put together led to someone who was having a hard time. I remember, I think he had been months just hanging in there, no visa, no job. Right. And this was someone that he's based in Abu Dhabi, right? And I said, come to Dubai, come to Road to Success. I think we spoke on the phone, or you reached out to me and I said, you know what, just come to Road to Success.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I even gave him money to come to Road to Success.
I think he mentioned something like
that.
Right.
I think I sent him money to say, okay, you know, just find your way down to, or something like that. And then you show up at this event. One of our speakers, who happens to be based in your Emirates, hires you, and more than a year later, he's still working there. I'm definitely taking that as, I should put it on a plaque somewhere.
Trust me.
That's my own personal success. But how do you see it?
Well, it still goes back to what I said about the impact I make in people. You know, when we were coming for a road to success, I saw it as just one thing, going out there to see how we can impact into people. I mean, if God has given us the grace to get to where we are, who can we draw along the line? So when we were coming, we never had, I didn't think we had the plan of
hiring
someone, but we came, and you know, when we got there, when we finished the program and we went to have lunch, and he came to sit down with us. He spoke to, I was sitting with my admin and my other guys that came, and he spoke to us. And one thing I know that if I had gone that line of being an HR, maybe, just maybe,
it would not have happened.
It would have happened. Because what I mean by, I have that little ability to see into people and know what they are capable of. So when he spoke to us, and it wasn't even me, it was Z. And she was like, she's broader than me in terms of human resource things. So she was like, Bosun, this guy, let's meet with him in Abu Dhabi. I think there's something.
Wow.
I was like, you know what, okay, we can give him a chance, but you know, I know real estate, a lot of people need money. A lot of people are looking at what they can get now. Something that will give them salary that is huge, that can pay their bills now. But I'm like, okay, I trust what you think about, because we are looking at bringing in people. And when it came along, I'm like, okay, when we get to Abu Dhabi, set up a meeting. So she took it up from me and started communicating with John. So he would just come to me, boss, we have to meet with this guy. I'm like, yo, hold on, like, no, let's meet with this guy. So I think we met him. Okay, I said, you know what? We are not going to invite him first to the office. Let's go and meet him
outside.
We are going to meet him at the mall. So we sat down, me, Z, and the guy, and I'm like, you know what? We'll give him a chance. We'll give him a chance. So I left everything from there, and the HR picked it up. And so when he came in, And one of the things that people don't really get here is train agents. They don't train agents. They don't put them on the field. So I train them that, listen, I can see it in you. I've seen it. That when it comes to speaking, you are there. When it comes to confidence,
you're there.
You are there. The Nigerian mentality is there. So, and another thing is that we were building a team that could kind of reshape in our own way the mindset of people towards our nationality. So when it came on board, I was like, okay, he's one of us as well. The hustling spirit is already there. And his willingness was top notch. He was ready. Because first question I always ask all of them is, why real estate? If you tell me, oh, because there's money in real estate, you are not ready.
Wrong answer.
I'll tell you that, okay, what happens in 3 months if you don't make a penny? What happens? Then you tell me, boss, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. So he was willing. So we gave him a chance. And today, just as we were speaking, is one of the best agents. He was still our agent of the month last month.
It's amazing.
Doing so well. And he went through a whole lot of tough time, but I mean,
that's part of life.
It was good that, we have Crest Range is like a family away from family. So a lot of time he has told us also in the office a lot of time that sometimes he wants to give up on it when he knows that when he comes to that office he smiles. He can't forget everything he's going through. So he still comes, and today he's doing so well.
It's amazing. Final question: who embodies success to you, or who was the first person to embody success? Who was the first person you ever looked at?
My father.
Almost everyone has said their parents.
People can say it, but other people can say it because they know the story. A lot of people can say, oh, randomly, out of respect for the parents, but genuinely for me, my father.
Tell me about that.
I would say I was the only one that had a bit of enjoyment growing up out of my 4. And I could see how this man worked so hard, from working inside a cubicle to becoming the state's licensing chief. I saw him move from a small cubicle where they just abandoned him there. Don't let us sack you. Just be here. And you know how the ministry work in Nigeria is. It was just from there. And he fought his way from there to becoming, the biggest person in that line. So I saw his challenges, and he always speak to me. Even then when we cried that, oh, we don't have things to eat, this man is, the moment he sees you cry, he's out there to go and look for something for you. So when I saw him there, I'm like, okay, if this man can move from this place over the years, and I can see what he has acquired over the years, the success is not far now. This is the person that so my father was the first. I could have grown up with him and not seen all these things, and I can now come here and say, no, but I saw a lot growing up. And I can say that, and until now, that's why I'm still very close to him. And he's still, if I need advice, I still go to him, Daddy, this is what is happening in the company. I need to tell you, calm down. This is what to do. This is what I expect. This is that. So,
I know I said final question, but final question. Talk to someone who is still on their road to success. Someone who one day wants to become the first something, or anything they want to become.
Wants me to be a motivational speaker.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Well, all I would say is that if you have a dream, don't just pursue it with word of mouth. Be ready to fight. Because you know what? The road to success is very narrow.
Narrow is the way.
Very narrow. So if you have a dream, there's no excuse. There's always going to be challenges, but never take excuses. Never make excuses. There will be reasons for you to make excuse, but you have to be mentally strong and be ready, and don't be shy. If something is if you need something, look for the right people, and at the same time, keep the biggest of your dream here. That's it.
Guys, on that note, I'd like to say thank you for coming on the show. Why do I call it show? I don't even like, I mix up my entertainment days with this Road to Success podcast, but you get what I mean. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having us here as well.
And we wish you many more successes, and we say cheers to your success.
Thank you.
See you guys in the next edition. Bye.